So let's try this example word problem where in this word problem, with these choices that we have, let's understand what we're getting into. So the first thing that we do is we read the question sentence. And the question sentence says, about how many soldiers were in the exercise? And we have our answer choices over here. But the main thing is about how many soldiers were in the exercise. Okay, so let's take down the information we have so we understand if we're working forward, working backwards. Let's really give an opportunity to the problem and the story of the problem to make sense. Here it says, during a field exercise, 18% of the soldiers, look at that, 18% of the soldiers. So 18% of the soldiers, which is exactly 45 people, were assigned to reconnaissance. Okay, everybody. 18% of the soldiers, which is 45 people, were assigned to reconnaissance. How many soldiers were in the exercise? My party people, is it clear to you that when we read the sentences, 18% of some number that we don't know is 45 right over here? 45 people, that's the result. 45 is 18% of the number of soldiers. Everybody, which are we looking for here? Are we looking for the percent, the result, or the original value? What are we looking for according to our formula? Yeah, according to that formula, we're looking for the original value. We're working backwards. That's what we notice. Now, at this point, if you're confident or not with dividing by decimals, that's not the question. The question is, can you understand that we're looking for the whole number of soldiers for this exercise? That's the big thing. And that being identified as the original value is going to work wonders for you. Now let's get to it. Let's solve. Because we know that the word of means multiply, so we have 18% times the number of soldiers. And that's going to be 45. But don't forget, if we're going to be dealing with the equation, this percent cannot be a percent anymore. We have to turn it into a decimal. And so to do that, remember that we take that decimal that was there and always move it to go to a decimal. We move it twice to the left. So that's 0.18. And similarly, that's what's going to be divided on both sides because we're working backwards. Again, to get the result, we multiply. To get the percent or the original, we divide. So in this case, everybody, we're going to divide both sides by 0.18 right there and right there. And once we do that, we cancel out on the left and we see that our final answer will be 45 divided by 0.18. This doesn't seem like a lot of fun, right? Dividing by decimals. But all we have to do is not divide by a decimal. So we'll take that decimal place, move it once, twice to the right, and we'll do the same thing up top. Once, twice to the right. And so what we are going to do is fill in those zeros where they belong. So the same thing goes, it's 4,500 divided by 18. So now that we're here, we will do 4,500 divided by 18. We can do that as long division over here on the side. Just like that. And we can get it going. So 18 going into 45. How many times does that happen, my party people? That's going to end up being twice. That's right. 18 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 1 times 2 is 2. Carry the 1 is 3. So yes, that is going to be twice. We subtract the 36. Everybody, how far is 36 away from 45? Yeah, they're pretty close. That is going to be 9. And now that we have this 9, we're going to drop a 0 and continue going. So now we have 90. And so 18 goes into 90 how many times? I see a lot of us saying 5. Let's confirm that. 18 times 5. 8 times 5 is 40. 1 times 5 is 5. Carry the 4. That is 9. That is correct. So we have a 5 right there, and that's a perfect 90. drop that last zero, boom, just fill that back in, and we are good. There's our answer. Our answer is that there were 250 soldiers at the exercise. The 45 people, that represents 18%, those were the ones assigned to reconnaissance. But in total, there were 250 soldiers present at the exercise. And there we are, everybody. Take that in. Really go over your reasoning and the reasons for why you believe you were right or wrong. All right, next question up. Let's go ahead and begin by reading that question sentence and seeing how bad this problem might be. So when we go about it, it says, what is the total flight time? So when I see that, total flight time, hey, it's possible that we're dealing with multiple instances or legs of a trip. And we are. So to get the total flight time, what we're going to need to do is we're going to take the first time period and we're going to add it with the second time period. And all we have to do there is really just understand what information we're given so we can get there. We see that for the first leg, it says this pilot flies 450 miles at 150 miles an hour. And then we have 420 miles at 140 miles per hour. So there we go. We have time 1 and time 2, but it's not explicitly given. We have to use our formula. So I'll write down in blue that first part. We have distance equals 450. We have our rate equals 150 miles per hour. And so if we want to find time, well, let's just set up our formula and check it out and see what we have to do. Distance equals rate times time. So what we'll do is we'll work backwards. We'll divide both sides by 150 to get the first part's time. And I imagine that we'll do the same dividing by 140 for the other one. So let's go ahead and get this first part done. Cancels out on the right. Then when we check out the 450 divided by 150, we can actually just cancel out those zeros, making it 45 divided by 15. And if you didn't want to use long division, we can just keep simplifying because 45 and 15 are both divisible by 5. So I can divide by 5, divide by 5. And now we have 9 over 3. And everybody, 9 over 3 becomes what? That just becomes 3. Yeah, so we're good. So we have 3 hours for the first part. So we'll go ahead and highlight that for future reference. And now we'll go ahead and do part 2. Part 2 of the trip. Our distance is 420 miles. My rate is 140 miles per hour. So what we'll do is we'll set up our formula nice and easy. Same way. And we'll divide both sides by 140. Boom. We do that to both sides. And now I'll go ahead and solve this. We can first start off by canceling out those zeros at the end to make it 42 divided by 14. And I can take it even further with simplifying. No long division needed. I can just divide the top and the bottom by 7. Both divisible by 7. And so then we have 42 divided by 7 is 6. And then 14 divided by 7 is 2. 6 divided by 2 gives us another 3 hours. And there we are, everybody. We have time 1, which was again 3 hours. We have time 2, which was again 3 hours. 3 plus 3. That gives us a total time period here of 6 hours. So I really want us to notice that it's not about trying to calculate as quickly as possible, but it's about understanding what needs to be calculated as quickly as possible. That's the idea here. And that's why the correct answer here is answer choice C, 6 hours.